Like I said, I'm going to try to get you out of here by 8, I promise. First thing I want to do is introduce some people. I'm Dave Elliott. I'm the principal and athletic director. Mrs. Goller is over to the left. She takes care of all our fees and forms. So if you call the school and there's a fee or form that you need to take care of, Mrs. Goller is a person to talk to, and she'll be able to do that. Also, there are some coaches here tonight that are available, and one of the requirements we have for our coaches is before your athlete can participate in a sport, there needs to be a meeting with the coaches so you know their rules and expectations, and the players, of course, know their rules and expectations. Now, there are some sets of rules that we talk about at an athletic code meeting. There's a WIAA rules and requirements. Then there's the athletic code that we have here at school, and then the coaches could have specific rules for their teams, such as practice requirements, what happens if they're late for practice or missing practice, and so on. So there's some different things that your players go through. Our athletic code rules are more stringent than the WIAA rules, but they cannot be less stringent. And sometimes our coaches and our team rules are more stringent than our athletic code rules. What we need to understand is extracurricular activities is a privilege and not a right. We understand that. We really appreciate you being here. So the most important thing as a parent is to understand the expectations that the coaches have for your players. And as far as the athletic code, that's what we're here for tonight. So get to know your athletes' coaches, and we'll talk a little bit about coach-parent relationships. All the paperwork needs to be in. That's all. It's a requirement of WIAA. Athletic pledge. Forms have to be in. Physical forms. We have a physical year form and a alternate year card. So you have to have a physical once every 2 years. One of those two need to be in before your player can participate in practice. They cannot practice if they are going, they can't practice on Monday if they're going to get a physical on Tuesday. They have to have the physical in. They have to have the paperwork and fees in before they can participate. They can sit and watch practice, but they can't physically participate in practice. 6th grade participation. We've been allowing our 6th graders to participate in certain sports depending on the number of players in that individual sport. An example, 6th graders played basketball, but our 6th grade girls couldn't play volleyball last year because of the number of kids that were out. Also, junior high track, we didn't allow 6th graders to run in junior high track because of the numbers. We may look at it this year, but we look at the sports individually before we allow our 6th graders to participate. We are kind of number driven, and we're having a problem here, as many schools are our size, with participation of athletes. May restrict us from having a JV team in a certain area. May restrict us in having a sport if you don't have enough kids out. So one of the things that we like about a small school is the ability to participate. And one of the nice things that happened in the spring, we had some seniors that didn't participate beforehand try to go out and participate. We had some boys play baseball, we had a few girls play softball that hadn't played before, and they enjoyed it. So I recommend that. Give it a shot. Try not to limit yourself to one sport if you can, and check and see. If you don't like it, that's up to you. But what's nice about a small school is your ability to be able to try. And we want you to experience as many things as we can provide. And I wish we had more non-sport participatory things. We're trying to keep, every year, try to add a little bit more. But we want to continue to do that. I want to introduce 2 people to you right now. It's really nice in Cornell to have a clinic, Marshfield Clinic, right in town. Part of that is kind of a triangle. We have some doctors there that are sports-minded at our clinic in town. The 2 people here tonight really help us keeping our athletes healthy. One is new to me, and we're gonna. I handed out a piece of paper that has to do with Mary Jo Borton and her physical therapy workshop that's coming up on the 25th of August. And Quincy Turpin is our athletic trainer. Quincy comes twice a week and allows the athletes to go down and see him at no charge, and he evaluates their injuries and makes recommendations. I am no physician, but I'm going to tell you this. I coached for 20 plus years. When you have an athlete that has an injury and you send them to a family practitioner or a doctor, and the doctors are fantastic, but it's very common if your athlete has an ankle sprain, say as an example, that the doctor says you're out for 2 weeks. You're out for 3 weeks. You cannot participate for 3 weeks. And then 5 or 6 days later, they're able to run and jump, and they still can't participate because the doctor said they're out for 2 weeks, even if they're healed. Unless that doctor comes back and says, nope, they're good to go, they can't play. They can't. Even if the coach wants to play or the parent wants them to play, the doctor is what we follow. Quincy evaluates injuries and makes suggestions, comes up with therapy, deals with some taping issues, talks about how to keep it healthy, and then makes referrals. He'll say, you need to go have this x-ray, you need to go have this looked at, you need to go have to do that, or refer them, you need to go see a physician. Okay? Mary Jo has a place in town, Lakeland Physical Therapy, that's right outside of town as you head out to the east of town. And her job is to deal with the post-injury healing. And so those are nice things right here in town, and they'll be able to do that. So I want to introduce them. I recommend highly that your athletes make sure if they have an injury that they see Quincy. They sign up and they go down there and evaluate. He does a report and makes recommendations. So fantastic. We had a coaching clinic last night to help coaches learn how to tape and do some injury prevention. He came on his own, and it's just fantastic. So I'm very proud that we have that available to us. Okay. A couple things I talk about all the time, and this is something I've said for you that have been here before. If you want your athletes to have fun, that's one of the byproducts of being in athletics. But it's not the only thing. If they're in athletics, they're going to be mad, they're going to be angry, they're going to be sad, they're going to be frustrated, they're going to be proud, they're going to be excited, they're going to build relationships. But if you just want them to have fun, buy them a Wii. Okay? And when the game's over, the fun's over. Being in athletics is a lifelong feeling. I mean, people who participated when they're in school, us old-timers, remember those situations. Some disappointments, some very proud moments. Remember the relationships we built, and so on. But your athlete is not always going to have fun. They're not. And most of you know that. You were there too. And so there's kind of a saying, don't ruin at the dinner table everything that the coaches try to do all week long. And another thing that I'm going to ask from you is, at the end of the game, athletics in any competition is very emotional. Physical, mental, and emotional. And a lot of times at the end of the game, you'll want to go and talk to the coaches, and hopefully most of the time, hey, good job, or it was a fun game, or it was exciting, or whatever. But sometimes you want to talk, or you want to say, why didn't my child play, or why did you do this? Or I ask that you don't talk to them right after the game, because it's really emotional time, and it's really not a productive time. Make an appointment with them. Say, can I talk to you the next day? Wait till next day and call, or call me. I'll set up an appointment if you want to talk to them, if you have a concern. I'll be there too, and then we can do it that way. But I've seen that too many times where game's over and all of a sudden a parent will step in and want to talk to the coach, and the coach really has got to call the media. They got to get ready for the bus. They make sure the kids are done. They want to talk to the kids after the game and do some teaching and to talk a little bit there. So please help with that as best you can. We don't have insurance. We don't have insurance. If your athlete is hurt, that has to go on your insurance. We used to be able to have you purchase insurance. We don't have that anymore. We don't have that available. So we're not responsible. We're not responsible for the injuries as far as covering medically if your child is in athletics. That comes on you. This form, the emergency form, we have to have this before your child participates. All the medical information is on us that we need. Coaches take a copy of the medical information with them on the trip. What this also does is it gives us a legal right to have your child treated. We have been on the road where parents could not make it to a game and there was an injury and the child had to go to the hospital. This gives us permission to treat. So make sure that this is taken care of. And the hospitals are very good, but we are not in a situation, we do not have this. We can't authorize treatment. So that's important for you to understand, that we need to have this and take care of the emergency card, and that allows us to have that. It also says that you've read and taken a look at the athletic code. The athletic code is real small. It's on 2 pages on 1 sheet. I understand that. It is also on our website, and I'll show you that in a minute. Fundraising. It's getting more and more expensive to do anything, like you don't know that. And in a small town, we fundraise like crazy, and you get hit all the time. And the parents always end up having to pay for this or pay for that. And requirements now for summer camps and learning, there's going to be some fundraising that your athletes are probably going to be asked to do. What we try to do is do it fairly smart, do some things over the summer. An example is there's a cart over at the Super Value that some people will have, sell burgers and do that type of thing. Concession stands are available for groups to use for fundraising. So there's different things that we're using for fundraising. We ask for patience with that, we understand, but that's part of what we have to do now to be able to do some of the other things. And if they can do a little bit of fundraising, it does take some pressure off of you as far as footing a bill to go to camp. I know I sent a kid to a basketball camp overnight, it's $340. That's expensive. So if the kids can do some fundraising, then that helps. So please do the best with that. Hopefully our coaches do a good job of communicating to you when that takes place and expectations and how that's going to be used. Cornell Youth Sports Program, we're always building. We believe in a K-12 athletic program. We believe that our varsity coaches are responsible for being involved in the program all the way through from elementary to high school. Sometimes it's very hard to do that because we have a lot of our coaches who are not on staff. They may live outside of town, they come in, but we try to do that. We really want that to be part of something we need to do. There is a project CHS that's raising money for gym floor, for scoreboards, for other things. Please be involved in that. Pam Elliott has that. If you go on Facebook and do CHS, and there's quite a few in here that are part of the CHS group. Coach Brayton is involved in that. Pretty heavy, and I know there's quite a few that are involved. That's a way for you to be involved. They have meetings set up, but if you go on Facebook and look up Project CHS, there's enough information there for you to keep track. And they're always trying to do something creative to raise money. They've got an activity on the 27th over in Holcomb with Elvis impersonator to raise money for the gym floor. But their job is to try to raise money to help athletics. They do a lot of youth sports to keep going. Okay, any questions at this point? This is a website for the Lakeland Conference. There's a couple of places you're going to be able to find out information about our athletics. And this is really nice now. You can keep track of all our athletics right on the website. And I'll show you how to get to that in just a second. But every schedule